to our program here at Focus on Liberia. Good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. My name is Anthony C. hosting. Today we have a guest, a very special guest indeed. He is Mr. Benjamin Koffa Fyneah, known on Facebook as Ben Finn. And he's running for president come 2023. So he is an aspirant. He said he got all the juice it takes to make the Liberia that you want. And so he's here and is seated in the hot seat. We are here to have a conversation with Ben. We want to know what is going on in his head. Ben, like many of you, is troubled about what's going on in our country and he wants to see change. But is he the guy for the change that Liberia wants? Does he have the balls to stand up to the old order and bring our people a democracy that they can benefit from? Well, be here with me and let's find out if Ben has all it takes to make that happen. I will ask you now to do us that usual favor by hitting that share button quickly, because Ben and myself are here for only 1 hour. 1 hour, and then Ben will give you something to give you, something to think about. So let's welcome our guest, the man Benjamin Koffa Fyneah. Koffa, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, my dear brother. I am so happy to be here. Thank you very much.
All right. The man Benjamin Koffa Fyneah there. Koffa is running for president comes 2023. So Ben, let's get started here quickly. For those who don't know you, less than 1 minute. I'm not a guy who like this and that, but for the sake of my audience, who is Mr. Benjamin Koffa Fyneah?
Well, first and foremost, let me say hello to everybody listening to the sound of my voice. I'm happy to be here today. That is one thing, and I'm happy to expound on my aspiration in terms of in terms of contesting the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. I just want to say that I am an ordinary Liberian who is heavily invested in bringing about the transformation of Liberia. Because I want to say this, there is this concept of people looking at this big man or this, great individual. The most important thing I want to lay down here is that history is mostly created by ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So I am not a big man per se. I'm an ordinary Liberian who is heavily invested in bringing about the transformation of the Liberian society.
All right, then. You heard it there. He's an ordinary Liberian like you, and he's wanting transformation. So let's get started here. And so folks, hit that share button. So Ben, our first question here is, why are you running and why should anyone take you serious? Because the name Koffa is not known in the Liberian quarters.
I will answer your two-part question from the last part. I think it came across as, why should anyone take me serious? I would like to say this to every Liberian hearing the sound of my voice. It is not why Liberians should take me serious. It is why Liberians should take their own interest serious. The interest of Liberia is what should be paramount, what should be very important to every Liberian alive. As you can see, since 1990, we have had successive failed attempts at leadership. And if you can look at Liberia since 1990, it has been almost an accelerated decline. We are saying we can provide the leadership, we can provide a motivation, we can provide an inspiration, and we can lead people. The most important aspect of our kind of leadership will be accountability, because that is the cardinal aspect of leadership that is missing in Liberia. That is number one. Number two, I think you asked, who am I? And I want to say again, I'm an ordinary Liberian who is heavily invested in the improvement of the Liberian society. let's look at leadership in Liberia for the past 30 years. And let's look at how the lives of Liberians have experienced what I would call retrogression. People have gone backward instead of moving forward. It is high time Liberians, every well meaning Liberian said, no, we have to stem the tide. We have to provide some kind of new leadership, leadership that is invested in moving the country, the society forward. And that
Ben,
is what we need to bring to the table.
Ben, like you aspiring and
Yeah.
promising, different style of leadership, others have said the same thing. And so the latter part of my question was, why should we take you serious? Others came and projected themselves
Yes.
as being serious and it turned out not to be.
Yes, you see, and I think I answered that, but I will say it in another form.
Okay.
You see, leadership is a reflection of the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. It's not for Liberians to take me serious.
Mm-hmm.
It's for Liberians to take their own lives serious.
Okay.
Because you see, when people lead, it is called what they call a consent of the governed. That is, the people who are being led, they have agreed to be governed in that style. I want to wake Liberians up. I want them to think in a new direction. I want them to reflect and say, no, we do not deserve this. We deserve better. So that's the kind of leadership style I want to bring. I don't want them to take me serious. I want them to take themselves serious. Their lives, the future of their children. I want them to take them serious. Then,
But Ben, why they shouldn't take you serious and they should take their life serious? Taking their life serious, I want to agree with you. They need to take their life serious, but they can do so with a trusted and serious-minded man. So the emphasis
yeah,
should be on you. We want to provide this
yeah,
leadership
that's what.
for them, isn't it?
Because you see, when they take their own lives serious,
Hmm.
they invested in what I would call accountability.
Okay.
They will be in holding their elected leaders accountable.
Hmm.
Right now, as we speak, my legendary brother, look
Hmm.
at Liberia. We've had successive elections. We had people earning unimaginable salaries. But what has been the corresponding changes in terms of the lives of the people? Until the citizens, those who vote, they are prepared to hold their elected leadership accountable, nothing will change. So my first platform is to wake the Liberian people up, to give them a sense of responsibility regarding their own lives and the
Hmm.
transformation of their lives, and to hold their elected leaders accountable. Then together, me and them will bring about that transformation.
All right, then let's come to the job that you are running for, Ben. What is your understanding of the role of the president or the presidency for which you want this job?
Um, uh, this is just a simple leadership role. I want to say this: president is not defined, or a presidency is not defined by one individual.
Mhm.
In leadership, we said a leader is defined by his team, but that leader should be the one driving the dream. He should be the one to inspire. He should be the one to motivate, and he should be the one to provide or personify leadership. So for me, I've led people all along in my life. All along, I've been a leader. I have the ability, the capacity to lead people. I have the ability and capacity to form dialogue, to build relationships. And I have the ability and capacity to hold people accountable. That's one of the key elements that is missing in Liberia, accountability. People should be held accountable. When people have jobs, when people have responsibilities, we must set expectations by which we can measure their performance. If they fall short, we can try to coach them to change. If not, we can terminate them and bring other people who will do the job because we have expectation in terms of performance. Thank you.
All right, Ben, that brings me to this question of a team. As you are aware, the presidency is not a one-man show. You just alluded to that. As of now, we don't see a team around you. It say you have this notion that, oh, I have time. It's 2023. It seems that you're running a one-man show here. Is that why it is?
No, it's most certainly not. I want to tell you this, that we are in the process of formulating a team, but this is what we want to deviate from the acceptable Liberian style. You and myself, we're here. People get appointed, people, we give them responsibility. We don't
Yeah.
do background checks. So we are in the process of, assessing people, doing serious background check to make sure that these people are who and what they say they are before we publicize them. But as I speak right now, we've spoken to a lot of Liberians who are genuinely invested in changing Liberia. But as a standard, we are doing rigorous background checks to make sure that these people don't have tainted antecedents. As you can see, we have all kinds of people with all kinds of background not being checked, and they turn out to be something else. We don't want to fall in that same trap. So I would say between now and December, our full team will be outdoor.
So, do you understand Liberia's problem? Do you understand the magnitude of the problem that we have? Do you?
Yes, my brother. Liberia problem is very simple. It's very simple. You see, when you do sociology, humans, we are a high class, what they call animal. Everybody can be trained. Everybody. The number one problem in Liberia is the lack of political will to do what is right. The lack of political will to do what is right. I will give you one example.
Mm-hmm.
Nwabudike, he's at LACC now as me and you speak. Nwabudike has been proving to acquire Liberian citizenship by fraud. The president of Liberia doesn't have the political will to terminate Nwabudike from the LACC. And we are not weak at that. My job, my number one job is accountability and having the political will.
But then on that issue, if I may jump in, maybe the president is trying to follow the facts. Maybe the facts are not evidentiary enough for him to take action. We just saw that he fired Blama. He just suspended the guy
Yes,
at the MPhil. So maybe the man is yet to get all the evidence to act.
Yes, yeah, but you see, then we go back to my point. My first point when you just asked me about my team, that is my first step in appointing anybody, in recommending anybody, is rigorous background check. If we had done a rigorous background check on this man, we wouldn't have been where we are today. So it comes back to my point. You just asked me about my team.
Yeah.
We have people we are considering, but we are doing rigorous background check. So when we outdoor these people, we'll be confident in terms of they being who they say they are.
So if you were president today, Nwabudike, what will happen to him?
I will terminate him straight up.
And?
I will terminate him straight up. That's what I would do.
And that's all you're going to do? Just terminate him? I thought you said that he acquired his citizenship fraudulently. So fraud is a crime. Isn't that punishable by law?
We would turn him over to the relevant authorities for investigation. I wrote an article on this. What is happening here should initiate a criminal investigation. I will terminate him first because that's the first step. We terminate him and we turn him over to the relevant authorities for investigation and prosecution.
So there have been, some time ago, we heard you raising the alarm on the $25 million. Samuel Tuer was in charge. What will President Koffa do to bring this matter to what was known to be a logical conclusion?
Well, you see, the government initially did the right thing. They launched an independent audit spearheaded by an international organization. Okay, that audit, a report was submitted. Then we took that report to the LACC. Another report was submitted to the president. But as we speak now, it was May of last year. So this May made it 1 year. The president failed to act on the recommendation of the audits. And I think that is, like I said initially, is an exhibition of the lack of political will to do what is right. Because if we pay people to do an audit, and those people did what we paid them to do, and they gave us the audit report, we have a responsibility in terms of reacting to the audit recommendations. That's our responsibility now because they did their job. We have to react.
And so, if you were president, Samuel Tua would not be on the job.
He would most certainly not be on the job.
All right, let me progress. Ben, people who know you have come to see that you are fond of the late president Doe. So we are just curious here. What is it about Doe, maybe that he did that you like, and for which you always want to show his image? Does it mean that you will be like Doe when you succeed to become president? Will you govern like Doe? Not many people have good impression about Doe leadership.
Okay, I want to say something, and I am happy you brought this issue up.
Mhm.
You see, in most countries, most societies, let's go to the 1960s.
Mhm.
Up to now, most of the changes in the world, most of the changes come from young people
Mhm.
who are at schools, universities, colleges. I'm talking about young people in their 20s.
Mhm.
Most of the changes in the world, they get on the street, demonstrate, make calls for change. Let's look at Liberia. Samuel Doe was how many years old? A 28 years old man. 28.
Yeah.
20 was invested in the transformation of his country. 28 years old man. That's why my focus is on the young people. The young people, they have that vibrancy, they have that future ahead of them. The country belongs to them. We are invested in those people leading the best life possible. So Samuel Doe gave us a path that the responsibility for change, that action that will bring about that change lies in the hands of the young people. And I will say this, people have their views on him. For me, Samuel Doe was a legitimate Liberian hero. I am proud of him to the fullest extent because all the development that he did within the short amount of time that he had is unparalleled. It's never been repeated. Never. But as with anything in Liberia, you have external forces, you have misinformation and disinformation, and it turned out to be what it was. But I can tell you this, I view Samuel Doe as a legitimate Liberian, and I'm very proud of him.
So what do you know of to have been Doe governing philosophy, and how good were they for which
Okay.
you
The first thing
sounding
I
to
want to
want to
emphasize,
use some of them?
yes, the first thing I want to emphasize was his diversity.
Okay.
We had more diversity in terms of representations of all of the counties and the tribes in those government.
Mhm.
Number two was the diversity in terms of gender. We have more women being involved as compared to what we see now. So those are two key elements. If you can bring, the society where the diversity reflects the totality of the people,
Mhm.
that alone is great. What some people don't know, and let me say this,
Okay.
Samuel Doe, up to the last day of his life, his butler, the person who used to cook for him,
Mhm.
was Guillaume. A lot of people don't know that. The person who used to cook for Samuel Doe every day to eat, he was a Guillaume. Up to the day that Samuel Doe left that executive mansion. You see, that sense of diversity, we don't care who you are, where you are from. Once you are Liberian, we have to make you a part of this system, part of this organization, so everybody can feel at ease.
Ben,
That is what I appreciate.
many people listening to you now might be
Yeah.
shocked that you are saying Doe had a diverse cabinet. As you are aware, there's this perception that Doe was a tribalist. He had many of his tribal people in government. That was one of the accusations for which, he was pursued,
Yeah, but
and today
you
he's
see, one
nowhere.
thing you said is, yeah,
Hmm.
one thing you said that I that I kind of like you said, perception.
Hmm.
But for most time, perception is not reality.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, and that's what I just emphasized, the misinformation and disinformation.
So let's talk
See, for
about
most
diversity,
people,
Ben. Let's talk about diversity in a Ben Koffa Fyneah cabinet. Um, Tell me what kind of diversity you will bring and how will you bring about it?
huh?
I'm talking about diversity. It seems to be
If someone
something
was
that,
trying
that
to
that you cherish.
call me,
So how will your
yeah,
cabinet be diverse? How will you diversify your cabinet?
well, I want to say this. It will be a matter of policy.
Hmm.
It will be a matter of policy
Hmm.
that the cabinet under me will be 45% women, 45%. No ifs, ands, or buts. The least it will be 45% female. That is
Okay.
number one. Number two, every county, every tribe will be represented in the broad outlook of our government. Every tribe,
Okay.
every county. Because you see, in every country around the world, diversity is our strength, and we must take advantage of that. It's only in Liberia where people are afraid of diversity, where people are afraid of other, alternate views, voices. We will embrace them because collectively we can move the country forward. Let's look at America. America is great simply because of diversity, simply because of that.
All right. Let's come today. What professional and life experiences do you have and that you
Hold
think
on,
prepare you for this
hold on.
presidency?
Someone was trying to call me there.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's go again.
Yeah, I was asking you what kind of professional life experiences that you have you believe prepare you for the presidency.
The first thing is for, I would say, 90% of my work life, I've
Hmm.
been a manager where I have supervised minimum 400 to 500 people.
Hmm.
And I have been successful to an extent where I have been transferred from different facility to literally solve problems. And I have a track record of doing that. But let me tell you my strength when I'm doing that. I don't go to my work telling people what to do.
Okay.
I go to work with the approach of joining them in collectively doing what I want to achieve.
Okay.
That is what they say, you lead by example. So I have been very successful where I have been moved almost all over America. Go here, solve this problem, go here, go here, go here. But those transformations that we have made, the skill sets that we have acquired, we
Hmm.
want to also bring them to bear on our own country. My brother, yeah, you and I on this phone, we just talk sometimes. Let's look at Liberia. I mean, can we ask ourselves why we can't keep the lights on? LEC, why? And let me just make this case. Since 2006, we have a we have an MD for LEC, 2006,
Hmm.
managing director, and we are paying him every month. But we care less whether the lights are on. That's what I just told you about accountability. Who is asking this guy, but we're paying you? Why is it we can't keep the lights on?
I
So
know.
those are the kind of leadership skills, that will set clear expectations and hold people accountable. Because if I'm paying anyone to do a job,
Hmm.
the least I can expect is that job be done because you are being paid. If you don't have the required skill to do that job, you will be replaced because the goal is for the job to be done. And that's the bottom line.
Ben, I see that you're talking about the importance of personnel, of individuals with integrity, who we share the same understanding of how the job needs to be done. So that brings me to the question. You know, I'm not want to talk about criteria yet. Give me a sense of some individuals, that you can count on in a Koffa cabinet.
Well, what I would say again, and I will continue to tell you this, we have identified some competent Liberians,
Mm,
experienced Liberians,
mhm,
and we are in the process of doing rigorous background checks because what we don't want to do is we
right.
don't want to do business as usual.
Hmm.
We don't want to put somebody out there, then maybe you, the guys from the press come and say, oh, I know that guy, he stole money here, he stole money there, he stole money there.
Hmm.
We have to do 200% rigorous background check to make sure that these people do not even have what they call the appearance
Hmm.
of any wrongdoing because we want to turn a page. We want to start something new. And I will tell you this, my dear brother, Liberia can work. You and I here, Liberia, the country, it's like an American city. It's like one city. And it is almost unimaginable how this small space is not able to be managed to an extent where it works for the citizens. It's unimaginable. We have the money, we have the resources, and we can also muster the human resources to move this country forward. It just takes the will of the political leaders, the desire to do what is right. And let me tell you one thing, anybody, including myself, on April 12th of next year, I am going to publicly declare my assets. That's one of the major preconditions. Before anyone is appointed, you have to publicly declare your assets. There should be nothing hidden. So people should know you don't come to serve your people with the express intent of accumulating wealth. Public service is what it is. It's service to your people. You want to leave a legacy. You don't go there to get rich.
So Ben would
So
declare his asset, and Ben
yes,
would make it public, and Ben is not
yes.
going to say, "I have my family to protect." Is that why it is?
No, I have no one to protect. I have the Liberian people to protect.
And so everything will be in the open.
Everything from top to bottom.
And so there are some leaders who uh they declare their asset, and people don't know what's in it. They hiding it. Is that something that you frown on?
No, but it is shameful, it's ludicrous, and it's embarrassing. How can we declare assets and people don't know what's there? It makes no sense, my young brother. It makes no sense.
And
People should be able to
you think they're
know.
hiding something?
Obviously, I mean, that's the impression that we get.
All
That's the
right.
impression that will be created if you declare your assets and nobody knows what's in it.
All right. Somebody asked earlier, now that you have this interest, the ambition to be president, and the person wrote in a comment, what party? So let me add to that person question and ask you this. You were once part of the CDC, and for almost the first 2 years of the presidency, you roll with the WIA administration. What changed? When did that change? And to add to what the color, I mean, the comment that the viewer said, are you running on CDC ticket?
No, the first thing is number one, I am not running on the CDC ticket. The goal is to instigate what I call a people's movement. Let me
Okay.
tell you this:
Okay.
in Liberia,
Hmm.
politics is not practiced like in other states. There's no ideology, communism, socialism, and Marxism. There's no ideology. So we come up with these blueprints, this format, with the hope that we can institute them to move the country forward. I joined the CDC and I was invested. I will tell you this in 2011, 2014, and even the last election, we had blueprints. I'm talking about men, women spent sleepless nights crafting our programs in terms of if we do win election, these and these and these and these and these are what we're going to do. So, like you said, we gave it 2 years. Once those programs were not instituted, or we didn't see indications that they were going to be instituted, we said no. Or this is not what we originally decided to do.
Right.
So once we have deviated, and this is not what we believe in, this is not what we plan to do, then we have to see how we can still maintain those plans and institute them. Because you see, everything in life relies on blueprint. Your building, even your lives, you have a plan. I'll go here tomorrow, I'll go here tomorrow. We must have a blueprint in terms of how the country is managed. We must have a blueprint in terms of what we want to do, and we must set goals and expectations through which we can gauge our performance. So if the blueprints that we laid out had not been put in place, then we have to find another route. So
Ben,
tell that individual,
okay.
yes, I was with the CDC. We crafted good programs, good agenda. We had everything in place. But for the last 2 years, I don't see a significant number of them being put in place. That's why I'm dissatisfied. That's why I'm finding another route.
So you are disappointed. You think you don't you think they can turn this thing around and call you on board?
Well, I will tell you this. If I am called on board, I will respectfully decline. I will respectfully decline. Because you see, leadership is marked by decisiveness. It's marked by the ability to hold people accountable. Let me just give one thing. Look at this case. I mean, where some folks who used to work at the Bank of Liberia, they are. I mean, one day they are in court, the next day charges drop, the next day we don't know who printed 20 billion, we don't know who. No. There must be some decisiveness in terms of resolution. People should be held accountable for wrongdoing. Policies should be put in place. Leadership comes with decisiveness, the ability to take decision and follow through.
So then, when President we are now was running, his message, his mantra was change, and not just change, change for hope. So what will you be running on?
I will run on a single term, that's accountability.
Accountability. Why
Accountability.
you think that is important? Is that captivating enough? It's a big word that not many people know that. Accountability. What does that mean?
Yes, I will craft it in a sense where Liberians will know that that is the major ingredient that is lacking. Anthony, where you are right now, if someone breaks into your house, you can dial 911. You can rest assured in a short while the cops will show up. If they meet that individual there, they will arrest him and they will take him to court. The system is in place. That individual who broke into your house will be held accountable by the law and ultimately go to court, and he might probably do jail time. In Liberia, if someone breaks into your house, Anthony, you're probably on your own. The system needs a critical form of accountability. That means, like here they say, you do the crime, you do the time. Everywhere there are bad people, everywhere. But that structure of accountability is what maintains law. Martin Luther King said this, and I quote, he said, peace is not the absence of war, but the presence of justice. That is, if I do something bad, there is a parallel system that will bring me back in line. And that is the cardinal aspect that is missing in Liberia. Last thing I want to say, over the last 90 days, it is reported that over 600 women have been raped.
Women and girls and babies, we can say.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about those that are reported cases. Those are what we know. But I'm saying, have we ever seen reports in terms of, these 600 cases, there have been suspects who have been arrested and they've been prosecuted? We've not seen that. So that's the critical element that is missing. That accountability segment. That's what we need to bring about.
All right, folks, you are watching Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony C., your host. My guest is Mr. Ben Koffa Fyneah. Ben is running for President Camp 2023. He is an aspirant, and we are discussing the topic, how will Koffa govern differently because, like him, those before him told us they were bringing change. The change we see now is not a change they promise. It's a different kind of change that is only in their interest. Ben, before we get to the economy, which is the national cake that any government relies on for its political survivability, let's talk about something else. And that is the social services. The social services, school, healthcare, these things are in deplorable conditions right now in Liberia. And the individuals that the president appointed in charge, it's been 3 years now. Anybody will conclude that maybe they're not doing a good job. So the question is reshuffle. If you were there, we would have seen maybe one or two reshuffles so far, given your word, the incompetence that we see.
Well, I want to say this. In my book, in my book,
Mhm.
there is nothing called reshuffle because we won't even reach that point.
Mhm.
We'll not reach that point.
Okay.
What I will do is set clear-cut expectations. You see, here when you have a job, and so you have what they call terms of reference. You have terms of reference. That terms of reference has set expectations in terms of your performance. And Anthony, the critical element that is missing in Liberia is performance review.
Yeah.
I can bet you, wherever you work, you have evaluation every year. You do have evaluation. I evaluate people every year. We have mid-year evaluation as well as annual evaluation. That is performance is assessed in relation to expectation and results. Anthony, we cannot have people in high offices and there is no expectation in terms of their performance. That is a lack of leadership. That is a total lack of leadership. The ministers in Liberia, managing directors, their performance need to be assessed every 6 months and every 1 year based on based on when they got their job. Then they too have to have a responsibility of reviewing the performance of the people that they supervise. That's how we can ensure quality in terms of results. But if there's nothing to hold those people accountable, like you said, I mean, they will do whatever they want to do. Some people in Liberia go to work late, they leave early. You can't do that. You've been paid to do a job. The very least we can expect is for you to do that job.
All right.
If you can't do the job, we would
Mhm.
just terminate you and find someone else who is competent enough to do the job.
All right. In Liberia, there is something I want to describe as the PYJ political playbook. That guy knows he's not going to win national election to become president, but he jumps in the race every time. So at the end of the day, he accumulates certain percentage of vote, and then for the second round, he trade that, he cashes out, and then he's relevant in the political process. Someone might be thinking, is that what Ben is up to? Getting a raise, get a little bit of name recognition, now second round, so oh no, Ben got 2%. The person who wants that 2% is calling your line, and you're like, yeah, 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 I will endorse you. The person wins, you land a job. Is that what you're up to here, Ben?
Well, I want to say this, Mr. Anthony, with all due respect,
Yeah.
as a leader,
Mhm.
as an experienced individual,
Mhm.
I don't enter anything to lose. I'm in it to win it.
Mhm.
You don't enter anything with the expectation you're going to lose. I don't understand. I am in it to
Mhm.
win it. That's the bottom line.
That is the bottom line. He said, folks, you are watching Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony Sie. Benjamin Koffa Fyneah is my guest. Folks, we are completely sorry. Our telephone conference line is having some issues. We set it up 2 times now. It seems not to be working. So I will read some comments and come back to Ben so that he can respond to those comments and then we will continue this interview, Ben. So give me some time here. This one is from Koto, Jerome Dawolo Beslo Brabi Cooper, your camo. So this person is calling people to come and listen to Ben. William, I think this is through the Liberian government and not directly. I don't know. My brother, don't lie to us. We all know what you guys then do. I don't know if that's how you wrote it. Abertia writes, Sedition don't know anything about blueprint, my friend. And then this one is from Vanisaki. Ben Finn is presenting the facts. This is not what we wasted our time for. Right after we won the election, President Joshua betrayed everything we put together. That is the man. Oh, I see my brother-in-law, Raymond Oliver Hogger, is watching here. Friend Dakina, all right, my dear brother Ben. Let me see. Sarah Dopo is watching. You need a time clock system. All right, that person is agreeing to what you said earlier about holding people accountable in terms of timeliness on the job and staying on the job. You need time clock system. Somebody said he avoided the question. Oh, I don't know. Jimmy Eastman, in it to win it? As in that question, how much funding does Mr. Koffa believe he needs to run and contest a successful campaign? So, Ben, on that last question from our affiliate here, Jimmy Eastman, there is another philosophy that some politicians apply. Say, okay, I may have some friends out there. There might be some philanthropists out there, so there might be some business guy out there. When they see that I'm running, they will come and give it maybe 100,000. I spend, maybe 30,000, and then the rest is in my pocket. I can justify that I was in the race. Is that why you up to? And then you can respond to the comments.
Well, what I want to say is I want to thank all of those who took their time off to even watch this program and respond to what we are discussing. But what I get from from the reactions, it tears me up. It shows that many Liberians, they are so frustrated to an extent where they believe nothing no more. It shows that many Liberians have been so disappointed to the extent where they have become distrustful of national leadership or government itself. I want to tell them this. This is a new day. It's a total new day. We will do what we say, and we will say what we will do. I want to say this from this day on. From the day we assume leadership in Liberia, now the first item on my list, there will be a full forensic audit from the first day of this CDC administration, as well as the United Party administration. Full forensic audit. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Number two, every audit report that is within the GAC, every one of them, those who were recommended for prosecution, they will be held accountable. The system has to work. When the system works, everybody benefits. Anthony, you and myself, we are here. The system is working. That's why we can get the little that we have achieved here. No matter where you come from, no matter where you were born, no matter who you are, because the system works.
So how do you make the system to work in Liberia? That's the bigger question. How do you make it to work?
I told you from day one is accountability. Whatever you do, you'll be held accountable. You will be held accountable. And I'm telling you, everything else fall in place, because I told you first, sociology would tell you that humans are like animals. If 100 people say, oh, these guys are holding people accountable, that alone will serve as deterrent. Here, a lot of people do bad things here, but they understand that once they are caught, the law will hold them accountable. We want that same expectation to be in Liberia.
Thank you. Someone asked a question Why the constant attacks on Elizana Cummings? Do you have beef with Cummings?
Well, I don't know what they call. I don't know. I wish this individual could put this thing. I mean, could put his statement in a framework.
Context?
You know, in Liberia, once you disagree with someone, is seen as an attack. I don't know what this individual term as attack, but if someone does something and you say something against it, I don't think that should be
Maybe the
framed
person
as an
is
attack.
trying to say you always bring him ANC, you're bringing him, trying to align him with True We Party of the past. So maybe the vices of the True We Party, you are saying that that's why he's bringing.
Well, I want to say this. You see, there is a historical context in Liberia that must be addressed in terms of what happened in the past and what is transpiring now. You see, I want a Liberia where you, myself, everybody, every tribe, every ethnic group can rise to the top based on merit, not based on ethnic or other grouping standards. And that is the kind of Liberia I look at. I don't want any brand name. I want people to gravitate to the top based on merit than based on hard work. And that's what I would say in terms of that.
So, Ben, earlier I told you we're coming to the economy. We're not going to go in details on that because of time, but this is what I want you to do. Putting
Yeah.
an economic team together, it is very essential. We see that today. You personally have problem with Tuer, who is now, so to speak, the chief economy of the government, and we see how the government is struggling in terms of revenue. So knowing that a President Koffa must have a robust and smart economic team, please share a few names with us to give the Liberian people hope that will
Well,
be in
Mr.
your economic team.
Mr. Anthony, I think I told you this from earlier on, and I'll tell you this. Maybe by December 8th, we will have a full list of the people who we have assembled. We are in the process of gathering these people, and we are also conducting rigorous background checks on these people to verify in terms of ascertaining they are who they say they are. But when you talk about the Liberian economy, my brother,
Mhm.
these are I would say these are very simplistic things
Mhm.
that I talked about this earlier on. Liberia is the size of a small American city. It's just the size of a small American city. We
Mhm.
have some of the best economic blueprints in Liberia. The blueprints are there. The problem in Liberia, Anthony, the problem in Liberia is follow-up and accountability. You see, you just talk about this economic team. You and I on this show right now, we should have been aware of their short-term goals as well as their long-term goals. They should be regularly briefing us in terms of what's the status of the Liberian economy. You are here, Anthony, every month here. They gauge how many jobs they created. They talk about how the economy grow every month. It's not one day, not 2 days. These people, we shouldn't be begging them for information. They should be put because those information alone make the country attractive in terms of investment or in terms of other people want to put more cash in Liberia.
Ben, on
What
the
are
issue,
they doing?
sorry,
You know,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But what you just said struck me because in our line of where our contribution to the community is to ask the people who are leading us to come and tell us the work they're doing. It is just that simple. These guys would think that we are asking them for money. We reach out to education minister. We reach out to public work minister. I mean, everywhere. Even the agriculture minister. These people are either not responding or making promises. Come and do your work. Come and tell the Liberian people what you're doing. Nobody know what these people are doing, and they feel comfortable. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that struck me. So go ahead.
no, you see, all of that is happening because of no accountability. See,
Yeah.
when you are appointed, when you are elected, you have a duty and a responsibility to the people that you serve.
Mm-hmm.
The Liberian people have the right to information in terms of the people who are leading them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look, I mean, just like what you just said. Where is the economic management team? What are they saying in regards to the economy of Liberia now with this virus? And what are the strategies being put in place in terms of after this virus subsides?
Mm-hmm.
The Liberian people, we need this thing published. We need to read them. We need to assess them. But it all boils down to what I said, accountability in terms of reference.
And
We
and
don't even know how these people are working.
and,
Which framework are they under? They need to have a framework whereby they will have a vigorous information dissemination campaign so that the public can be aware of what they are doing. That alone can bring about some terms of accountability in terms of expectation.
so in your administration, will Anthony Shea be able to go, or any Liberian be able to go, like say on the civil service website, and know the salary of teachers, doctors, nurses, just about anybody in the employ of the government? I'm hungry for the information. I don't know how much the people are making, and I think it's frustrating.
I will tell you this. I come from a IT background.
Okay.
Everything in my government will be digitized, almost everything, because people must have access to information as we speak. Me and you, Anthony, as we speak right now, look at all the counties in Liberia, the 15 counties. Right now, as I speak, I'm in the process of developing a website for Monserrato County. There is no website for any county, none. How do these people even attract people to those counties where there's no information dissemination? So what do you say? We talk about the economic management team in this critical time. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing. Even here, every day you will know the US dollar rate in terms of how it's compared to other currencies in the world. There should be some kind of blueprint here in terms of information dissemination on a daily basis.
And Ben, what you think is stopping this development or building of website, maybe county by county, at least for Christ's sake? I mean, this something that you can spend maybe around $10,000 or a little more or less to get it right. What is stopping that?
That's what I'm telling you, my brother. There's something called the consent of the governed. The people who you lead, they will determine how you act. Look at what's happening in Liberia now. Look at what is happening right now as we speak. There is a major election process on the horizon. What do you see going around? Oh, Tifa here, Dylan Ategri. You see nobody talking about, what are the agenda items, policies? I mean, how are you going to resolve some issues in terms of youth unemployment? None of that is being discussed. It's just drama. We will continue this drama up to December 8th. This election will be won, it will be lost, and we'll be stuck with someone for 9 years. And there is no agenda insight in terms of what this person is going to do regarding the plight that our people face. It is happening in every county. The citizens need to demand. The citizens need to hold these aspirants accountable in terms of what are the solutions. What we have to have town hall meetings where we will discuss what you want to do, what are the associated timelines, so we can get a clear indication of who this person is. We have people running for offices and have bags of rice in their jeeps. Those don't substitute for policies. We have almost 90% youth unemployment. And
So
people don't know.
are you going to end the are you going to end the rise politics and the politics of gifts and t-shirts?
No. What I will do, I will urge Liberians to be more responsible in terms of positively engaging aspirants. They have to come to a place where we can dialogue, we can debate the issues, we can understand what this person is about, and we will put those things, alongside associated timelines so we can hold people accountable.
Where do you stand on these too many political parties in Liberia that all
Well,
tend to be like, in some kind of suitcase? Will you want to continue on that? I mean, just your personal view. Or would you
Well,
rather have a two-party system or something?
well, I think based on the election laws, once you meet the criteria in terms of to form a party, you should be free to do so. But it's dependent upon the people to buy into your ideology, to buy
Mm-hmm.
into your idea. We don't want to restrict people. People can believe whatever they want. We don't want to restrict anybody because we would be, unjustly, trying to infringe on other rights. So people can do whatever they want, but it is only if it is done in line with the election laws.
So Ben, coming back to the economy, given the economic mess we have our hands, will you now hold the we administration responsible more and the Ellen
Well,
Johnson early administration or less or vice versa?
I think I just said that, I mean, a while back. From day one, my number one item on my agenda is a forensic audit of the CDC-led administration, as well as the Unity Party-led administration. And I will tell you this, the findings of those audits will be published in the newspaper. There's nothing in the report going here, the report going here. We will buy spaces in the newspaper to publish them so the Liberian people can know. And the recommendations of those audits will be followed to the letter, will be followed to the letter.
All right. Benjamin Koffa Fyneah there, presidential aspirant 2020, Republic of Liberia. Does he have it to win it? Is he in it to win it? Or is he in it to go with the PYJ philosophy? He's saying he's in it and he's on the Liberian people's side. Vanisaki writes, aggressive audit was one of our original plans when we were in opposition, but right after we won the election, President George Weah and his gang turned their back on the plan and started focusing on they can get, what they can get for themselves. True or false?
Oh, you come to me? No, you see, the thing is, for me, I'm a man of the law. I will not make allegations that I can prove because I don't know if you observe it. There are most things that they take to court in Liberia. They say, well, the guy wasn't guilty, he was acquitted. I like to have pieces of evidence. That's why I will rely on audit. Then I will enforce the recommendations of the audit because then we have pieces of evidence that we can take to court. But I don't just accuse people. No. People
right.
can do what they want to do, but once I have pieces of evidence available, you will be held accountable to the letter.
Anthony Gay writes, how can we read about you, sir? Do you have a website?
Tell Anthony Gay, Koffa2023.org will be live on August 25th. Koffa23, that's www.koffa23.org will be live on August 25th.
All right, Anthony, you heard it, Dad. August 20 what?
25th.
August 25th, www.koffa2023.org will be live and you can go and read about Koffa. Again, folks, we are sincerely sorry that our phone lines are having some issues. That is why you are not being able to call in. I will read a few comments and then I will allow Ben to give his closing statement yet. Anthony Gay writes, digitization is not cheap. How will you pay for it, sir? Where will the money come from? Ben, keep that. Uh, and this one from Jerome Gateman. What is your position on tenure? Do you support 2 years, 4 years, 6 years for the Senate? All right. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I will start with Mr. Gayman on tenure.
Mm-hmm.
I will propose that we follow similar thing that is done in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Presidency should be for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
The others should be 4 and 2 years. We cannot be stuck with people for 9 years. It makes no sense. So 4 years, 4 years, and 2 years. That would be the format. And the last thing I want to say, superintendents, every superintendent under me, I will propose that they will be elected. We will not appoint them. The
What's about
superintendent of
mayors?
every county has to be elected.
What's
I
about city
propose that.
mayors?
City mayors, it is in our law that it should be elected. I don't know when we started appointing them. It is in our law that they should be elected.
So
Because I remember there was a big, there was a big fuss in Liberia.
Right.
It was Amos, I think Amos.
Amos Sawyer contested
Oh
or
yeah,
tried to contest. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big election.
Mm-hmm.
Those days, mayors were being elected. I don't know where we went from that, because that should be the case. The mayor should represent the aspirations of the people. Mm-hmm. I mean, shouldn't be appointed.
So, Ben, there are other people that subscribe to today's idea of decentralization. And in decentralization, some of the folks who are advocating for this, that will be a better governing model for Liberia, are saying that, hey, even the budget should be, allotment should be done on the basis of counties. So you say, based on the fact that you have a county status, you get maybe 100 million. And then the people in the country can decide how to use that money to develop your county. I don't know if you're hearing it for the first time. Does that sound, okay to you?
Anthony, decentralization is the key to the way forward.
Okay.
You see, that's what I just said, that the superintendents will be elected. Mm-hmm. When you are elected, the resources that you have locally, mm-hmm. you will have a fair share in terms of how that resource is utilized to better the life of the people. There will be a blueprint in terms of your performance, mm-hmm. in terms of the expectation. And all of that should be in place. Power should be decentralized. It makes no sense to have a major central government. The central government is bulky, is incompetent, is doing nothing. We have to decentralize. We have to vest power in this local authority. We have mayors in Liberia, they do nothing. We have mayors of the small cities, they do nothing. Wherever you live, I mean, in this United States, wherever you live, you get your light, your water, your trash, you get everything done by your local city government. Yeah. We have to empower other people, because once you vest these people with more power and hold them accountable, the system will start working on a suitable blueprint in terms of what they should do. And those people too, whatever we gave them, they will be audited to make sure that they are not going, out of line in terms of what we expect them to do. But we must vest power to local people. We have to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, so on your point about mayors should be elected, Anthony get right. He's absolutely right. The mayoral positions are elected positions under our current law. Wow, what an abuse of power. The president is just appointing, not just one president. They all have been doing it. Then on the same mayor issue, Jimmy Eastman writes, Tubber did it when Amos Sawyer tested the TW3. Again, another confirmation that yes, those positions, the position of mayor should be an elected position. He's trying to say that Amos Sawyer tested the water and there was a framework put into place to go into that election. Ben, we know you are a time-conscious guy, and we try to be too. We have gone an hour. This thing was scheduled for an hour. We hope to see you sometime when you have your team, and the next time you come here, please come with your team. We want to see that website up and running. I don't want you to come here and be scratching your head. We're still working on the website. So we want to say thank you for honoring our invitation here and answering the tough questions. Please close us. Liberians are in despair, and you are running to give them a leadership that they can benefit from. What do you have to say to your Liberian people that you want to leave with us?
Well, sorry, but this message is actually directed at the young people. You see, I'm a man of numbers. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know this. When George Weah won that election, the last election in Liberia, mm-hmm. almost 60% of the votes. Now, listen to this, not a joke. You can go to the NEC website and look at the data. Almost 60% of the votes came from Liberians in the ages of 18 to 24. 18 to 24, 60% of the votes. These are the people that I want to heavily concentrate on. I want to give them something to look up to. I will just say one last thing. My son, he just turned 18. He graduated from high school, going to college. There's a blueprint in terms of how his life will turn out to be. I want young Liberian men and women to have that same kind of blueprint. I want them to have a future. Our young people now, they're calling them Zogos. And what some of us don't know, the young people of every society, they represent the future. So if we don't invest in those people, if we don't ensure that these people have something to look up to, our society will decline. Our nation will decline. So I want all of us, you, including me, everybody on the ground, to do whatever it takes to ensure that our country has a future. The last thing I want to close, Samuel Doe was 28 years old, 28, when he became the leader of Liberia. Simply represented for me that the youth, the young people, they possess the tomorrow of that country. I want them to seize it. Thank you very much.
That was the final words from my guest, Benjamin Koffa Fyneah, presidential aspirant, 2023 general and presidential election. We wish you well, Ben. But this is what I have for you, my listeners, and for Ben. Quite too often, when elections are nearing, Liberians come forth to say, I'm your guy. I'm the one that was promised to redeem you from the economic mess you are in. I am the one chosen, some will argue, by the law to bring those schools that you want, the hospitals to build them, to build those roads, even though there is one who is telling us he's the bad road medicine. Many have come and gone. The roads are still bad. Many have come and gone. The schools are still terrible. Ellen described the schools as nothing but mess. The hospitals have become death camps, and the youth can't find jobs. Ben said they are referring to them as Zogo. Yes, many have come, they contested and they won, and their promises, they failed. Liberia is like a country running on one bridge. Yet, they keep coming. Choose me, elect me, and I'll make it better for you. Is that person Benjamin Koffa Fyneah? Is that person your George Weah? Is that person your Elizana Comey? Is that person your Joseph Yumambwaka? My answer, I don't know. But this is one thing Ben left with me, justice. So who is that guy who's coming with that justice? If you steal, you get punished because it's not for you. If you have a job, you must be held accountable. Maybe we'll start thinking that we will get somewhere. My name is Anthony C. Yeah, I focus on Liberia. We only ask the tough questions. We bring the people who want to be and we'll ask these questions, and then they go and prove themselves. And you, the Liberian people, will make that decision. The hour of politics has come to an end on this network, focus on Liberia. But I have this song for you. It says, we are all Liberians. Listen to it just 1 minute for me. Please listen to that song. Feel the passion of your country that you come from. And maybe you will tell somebody, vote for the right guy so that we can get our country on the right track. On that note, Ben, I can't thank you enough. We will always reach out to you. Always reach out to us if you have something to share. Fellow Liberians, let's do it. This is our country. We must live it up. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Liberians.